Hey there, this is Dr. Pam Perry. So, if you've ever wanted to reinvent yourself, or if you're at a point in time where it's like midlife and you need to do a pivot, maybe you want to leave corporate and you want to become an entrepreneur, maybe you want to leave corporate and you want to speak more. Well, we have a guest today, Dr. Linda R. Jordon, that will be telling us how she did it and how she coaches other people to do the same thing. So she's been featured in Speakers Magazine several times. She's part of Ready, Set, Go, Speak. She is also in Mayor. She has had a lot of different careers. She's into real estate, but I'm not saying all that to say that you have to do that. But listen to Dr. Linda's story and see where you can fit in and do the same thing to reinvent and also to do that pivot. Right after this, I'll bring her up.
Are you ready to elevate your speaking career and be a part of a movement that amplifies Black voices? Speakers Magazine is your go-to resource, highlighting top speakers, industry insights, and strategies to take your platform to the next level. Subscribe today and unlock the blueprint for speaker success. Visit www.speakersmagazine.com, the #1 magazine for Black speakers. Subscribe now and start your journey to success. Amplify your voice. Subscribe today.
So Dr. Linda R. Jordon, as I was saying, she is an author, a best-selling author. She is also a mayor. She's a speaker, and she is getting settled right there. There she is. So how are you, Dr. Linda R. Jordon? I saw you there in the green room, and then I said, well, I don't want to bring on an empty chair. So what is going on? Where are you? What's going on? Where are you hailing from, first of all?
I am hailing from the big area of North Carolina, and the town is Butner, North Carolina.
And who is the mayor there?
That would be moi.
Yes. So I want people to understand that is one of the things. You're part of my program, Ready, Set, Go, Speak. And when you said that, I was like, I think I would lead with that because that's pretty, not everybody could do that. And not everybody can brag and say, hey, I'm a mayor of a town, right? So I just love that. So yeah, that's like an applause. That's an applause. But let's go back. Let's tell us a little bit about where you started and how you ended up where you are now as a transformational coach and a high performance coach and a speaker and a consultant with your company. So kind of give us I guess you would say the little cliff notes.
The little cliff notes. Okay. So at the age of 12, actually, I started my entrepreneurial career, didn't know what I was actually doing. But I started my career because I wanted to buy a present for my parents at Christmas time. I'm a country girl from Virginia and lived on a farm. So we didn't have a lot of money. So I was trying to figure out, how do I make this happen? And so long story short, I ended up being a shoe salesman at the age of 12, raised enough money to buy my parents a Christmas gift. And I took that entrepreneurial mindset to the corporate world, where I worked for almost 30 years. And I wanted to be that vice president of the organization. That was my ultimate goal. But life got in the way, people got in the way, and things just happened. And I was able to get to the senior leadership role, but just that little step to the VP level. But as I tell everyone, I was blessed with breast cancer, and that allowed me to rethink my journey. And therefore, it put me on this path of being a full-time entrepreneur, where I can coach, train, and speak and help other women find their voice or find their seat at the table, where sometimes they may think that they don't have a seat at the table or their voice is not being heard. And so I get the opportunity to do that in my daily life, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, that is good. That is good. So the 30 years you were working, what field were you in? What was the main field or the positions, I guess?
So when I ended my career in the corporate world, pharmaceuticals, I was in the sales operations department. I started in finance, and I had the opportunity to work in all aspects of the organization, traveling and helping other contact centers formulate and become part of our organization. So process improvement is also in my wheelbox.
Okay. And so you have multiple degrees, all the degrees. When you first went away to college, what was the major? And then what did you finally name the degrees and how, because I'm trying to show people how no matter what age, when we get a certain point where it's midlife and it's a pivot,
Mhm.
how nothing is wasted. So
Oh,
even if you just said, oh, I was a music major, there's some kind of way where God's going to weave it together. So kind of tell us a little bit of that part.
absolutely. So when I first went off to college, straight out of high school, I wanted to be an accountant.
Okay. All right. All right. So you had that kind of a math brain. So you like
Yeah,
numbers. Okay. All right.
and
All right.
I love math and I loved solving problems. So I was like, I'm going to be an accountant. But shortly after getting into college, and I was the last of the baby boomers, so Pell Grants kind of went away, and I'm stuck in the middle trying to figure out what do I do with my life? Do I go back to college, get a job? So I opted to leave college so that I could get a job, so I could pay to go back to college.
Right. Right.
And life again, of course, happened, and I ended up getting a job that decided that they would help me pay for college.
Wow. That's cool. They don't do that too much now, but yeah. Okay. All right. All right. I love that.
So I said, well, I'll finish. And so I did as an adult. I finished my undergraduate in business administration.
Mhm.
And then I got that fever for, I need to keep this going because when you're in the corporate world and you look like me, sometimes it can be challenging.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to make sure that those opportunities that came my way, no one could say, no, you don't qualify because I
Mhm.
had heard that before. And so I decided to go back to school to get my master's degree. And in doing that, I was able to, go through those next levels within the organization. Not easily, but it was easier if I had not had that. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I just kept going. And then as I wanted to get to this, as I said, that VP level, I knew that they're not going to give me that unless I have the umpth
Of a
degree.
degree. Right.
So I decided to get my PhD. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's a lot. That's a lot. And then the PhD, that was in processes or organizational development or
it's organizational development and leadership.
organizational development and leadership. So I want people to understand that uh, coming out, liking numbers, loving numbers, doing all the things with the numbers, getting a PhD, then organizational development processes and that kind of thing, because that was easy. But the main thing that she does right now is that she makes most of her income by speaking and writing. So you
Mhm.
have a book. Tell us the name of the book.
Yes, absolutely. And it's, of course, right here.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's titled Unleash Your Inner CEO, A Country Girl's Guide to Being Your Own Boss.
Hold it up again. Hold it up again. I want everybody to see it. It's a real book. There you
It's
go.
a
There you
real
go.
book. Yeah. And
I
it's blue
love it.
on the back.
I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful cover. So I that right there is you know, kind of unusual for accountants to really be penning books and writing and speaking. So where
Mhm.
did that love of that? I think it to me, Dr. Linda, it sounds like when you got your first job selling shoes. I understand that shoes and cars are the hardest thing to really sell, right? Or very
Yes.
picky. So, especially shoes, because they have to fit right. So, really having that sales bug, I guess you would
Mhm.
say, is a basis for a lot of things. Because even now, as a mayor,
Mhm.
you had to campaign, which is basically like a sales
Yes.
campaign to convince people to vote for you. So, those kind of things, mixing the love for
Mhm.
words and the numbers,
Numbers.
so education, because you like to teach. I guess you must have a teaching gift if there's one of those gifts, how they say they have
Yes.
spiritual gifts. What is your spiritual gifts?
It is teaching. And when I was in the corporate space, I'm always trying to learn something new because learn is one of my top five.
Yes,
I
yes.
had the opportunity to learn, it was a program called Coach the Coach. And so
Hmm.
I had the opportunity to help other leaders in the pharmaceutical organization understand the importance of mentoring their employees as opposed to just being the boss.
Yes,
And that
yes.
teaching gave me that opportunity to say, huh, there is something that I can do when because I always had a plan A, B, C, and D. That's just the way that I am.
Mhm, mhm. I
So
like that.
that's when I really found that I really do enjoy helping others understand and learn and communicate effectively.
So you were saying you were blessed with the gift of breast cancer. Most people wouldn't say that, but what happened during that time that made you really pivot and look at your life a little bit different? And where were you then? And then what decisions did you make to say, okay, I've got to do something different?
So I was at a point in my life where I was working on my PhD. I was doing all the things that I was told to do, to get in that career ladder, but nothing was happening. So I felt stagnant. I felt frustrated. I was having a high blood pressure issues, high cholesterol. I was like 50 pounds overweight than what I am now.
The stroke
And
level, stroke
I
or
was
heart
stroke
attack. Yeah.
level, and I was having
Mhm.
heart palpitations and constantly. And I was in my office one day and I thought, this has got to change. And I was going to get my regular mammograms, even though I would cancel appointments because I had a meeting.
Okay, listen, everybody, don't do that, ladies.
Don't do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
cancel appointment because I had a meeting or I had to travel. And then it was actually on November of 2014 when it was Thanksgiving time. I had my mammogram. They said, okay, everything looks okay. And when they put you in that back room, you're like, this doesn't sound good, even though they don't say anything.
Mhm.
And they said, well, you need to come back. And I said, sure. So I went back and I had additional tests done. And then they called me. Actually, it was December the 4th of 2014. So it was like 30 days from my 51st birthday. So I
Mm.
was diagnosed. And at that moment, there was transition in the organization. And the Lord just said to me, now is your time. And I called my VP and I said, I'm taking early retirement. I wasn't
Mm.
eligible, but
Mhm.
I said,
So you
when the Lord speaks, you have to obey. And I
yes,
know
yes,
this isn't a religious discussion, but that's just part of who I am.
and that's the
And
purpose.
so,
People need to follow their purpose
yes.
regardless. It's a good way to make sure that you live your life on your own terms.
Mhm.
And, whether you are religious or not, I think when people do something that they don't love, they live a life of regrets. And so
Mhm.
you don't ever want to do that. So
No.
you quote unquote early retired at almost the double nickel
Yes.
part. And being the leader that you are, I understand that you founded an organization. And what was that?
Yes. So that's Breast Cancer Angel Network. So I want to help other women be able to make those tough decisions that I did,
Mhm.
and be okay with it because I
Yeah.
didn't want to have to say I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. So taking the teaching gift, all the years experience in corporate, the background within business and finance. I
Mhm.
mean, one of the things that most entrepreneurs really are not good at is the math, the
Yeah.
accounting, the
Yeah.
numbers, doing the profit and loss, and all those things. But you already had that. So that was going for you. The hardest part, I think, was someone's leaving corporate and doing what you did, and you've got all the degrees. At that point, you probably had start finishing the degrees. What was
Mhm.
the hardest part when you started your business and you is LRJ Consulting?
Coaching and business solutions.
Mhm, mhm.
So the hardest part, oddly enough, was being in a space by myself. I'm a people person. And it was hard for me to sit at the computer and make myself work, because I'm the administrative assistant, I am the boss, I'm the treasurer, the marketer, everything. And I had to force myself to make myself work.
Mhm, mhm. 'Cause you wanna be out and about
Right. I wanted to be out and about. And I'm like, oh my
and
gosh,
encouraging and inspiring people.
but I have all this paperwork to do. And I'm like, that is not my forte.
That
So
is
that
so
was
true. That part of it is really, really hard when you realize, like, "Oh my goodness, I don't have an assistant anymore that's gonna do that. I am the assistant," when you're first starting out. I am the
I'm the
assistant. So, yeah.
assistant. Yeah. When the phone rings, I have to answer it. Someone wants to
Mhm.
schedule an appointment. I've got to schedule the appointment
And remember to the appointment. Yes, yes.
and remember the appointment.
Mhm, mhm.
So that was the hardest transition for me. because I wasn't prepared for that. I was just like, I'm going to go out here and do great things and make the world a better place and make money at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And then this is where the real estate came in, or was that really bit before?
So real estate was a part of my 9 to 5 life because I'm a planner. And having a daughter that was young age at the time, I was always planning, what if the company decided to let me go or shut down or whatever, if something happened, how would I sustain? And so I
Mm-hmm.
started real estate investing as a backup plan.
I love that. I love that. See, this is what I want people to understand, because a lot of people have gifts and talents and they'll say, well, I'm going to just go and it's kind of like what you said. It's not that you don't have faith, but you have a plan A, B, and C.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can work all the plans at the same time. And then at a certain point in time, when something stalls, you can pick one up. So real estate investment, Dexter B. Jenkins, he's part of our community. He talks about real estate investing all the time. He's a pastor. So you could
Mhm.
be a pastor and preach the
Yeah.
word, but then if people aren't really tithing like they should, you get real estate. Okay. So it's that, and so you're an investor. Did you also get licensed to do that as well? You're just more or less like real estate. You learn real estate investing.
I learned real estate investing on my own. Back in the day, I started when, if people remember that are listening, Carlton Sheets.
Wow.
That's how long ago it was. But I would just watch infomercials and as I
Hmm.
said, I'm a learner. So I would soak up all this information. And so when the opportunity was there to really get into real estate investing, I just jumped right in.
So one of the key things that you're saying over and over, and I hope people understand this, is that you are a learner, lifelong learner. So a person who likes to write books, but also read books, person who
Mhm.
likes to go to conferences and study, people
Yes.
who are curious. It's really one of the things that you're talking about. A person who likes people, but also knows that they need to plan and they like the numbers. So all of the things that make someone successful um, are the are not just one bucket. It's like it's a combination of it. So
Mhm.
when you coach people, high performance in women, when you coach them, what are the things that you see them stuck or struggle with the most? Is it like they need more information? Do they need that motivation? Or are they need confidence? What's the main thing?
The main thing I've seen is that women are stuck because it's that fear of taking that first step. If you build it, will they come?
Mm.
And you see things all over social media of people, saying they're making all this money doing different things. And then other women are thinking, well, I can't do that because I won't make that kind of money. And in their mind, they're thinking they have to make all this money right now.
Yeah.
And you don't. You have to start small.
Mhm, mhm.
And so and if you have a plan in place, if you say, I'm going to see 10 clients today, and out of that 10, I may get one customer, then that's how you plan it.
Yes,
And
yes.
so it's that fear of really just stepping out and making sure that you do the things that you're supposed to do. But we allow fear get in our way, or we come up with so many excuses as to why we don't do what we're supposed to do.
That part, that part. The excuses.
And
Yeah,
then we blame someone else or we blame ourselves. Well, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I always said, I never want to say that ever, ever again. And so that's really what women get stuck on.
mhm. Yeah, so the fear of really just going forward. So they need encouragement, they need motivation. So explain a little bit about what a high performance coach does versus like a regular coach, like a typical life coach or a business coach.
Yeah, so in my practice for high performance is I want to peel back the onion to figure out what are those mental blocks that are preventing someone from getting to where they want to be. So we do some uncovering and we talk about everything down to your childhood because
Mhm.
people don't realize that even at the age of 5 your brain is formulating and you're adopting patterns based upon people that you see or your parents or your relatives, and in your mind that's how you will end up in some circumstances as an adult. And so for me, and that's why I share my story at the age of 12 wanting to be an entrepreneur, because I wanted to buy a gift. I learned that because My father was a farmer. He never worked a corporate day in his life. So he was always an entrepreneur. And I saw that every single day. So I carry that with me. And we don't realize that where we come from sometimes helps us get to where we're going to.
It does. It does. Either we are going to emulate what we saw because we loved it, or we will just say, I'm going to do the opposite because it was
Opposite.
so traumatic. So one
Exactly.
of the others, but it is being a farmer is someone like you work, you till the ground and you
Hmm.
get paid from what your produce, what you produce. So that's one of the things that an entrepreneur pitching, especially for women,
Yes.
sales. When we could do ready, set, go, speak. First things I always
Hmm.
tell everyone, I says, introduce yourself. Tell us in 30 seconds what it is, who you are, what you do, who you serve.
Hmm.
And it's funny that some people are stuck on it. They would rather have someone else introduce them than them really open their mouths and say that. So I'm glad that you said that. That is really, really key. So kind of like as we kind of wind up, I want to uh, really talk about, I love the fact that you took a situation that could have been devastating. I'm so glad, first of all, so glad that you're well,
Thank you.
because not everyone has breast cancer, has a diagnosis, lives through that to tell the
Sure.
testimony. So that is really God right there that really was on your side doing that. The other part is that when you walked away from corporate, had you ever been in politics before? And then where did the urge to want to run for mayor come from? I know you like people, but then I mean it's a whole nother thing to jump in politics.
So I had no clue about what I was doing, never even thought about getting into politics. And when my daughter was born at the age of about 7, 5 to 7, she loved softball. And so she was teaching herself how to play. She became a really good pitcher. She wanted a place to
Hmm.
play. In our community back then, we didn't have any fields for girls, we had fields for boys. So I decided to go to a town meeting to figure out what's going on and why don't we have a field for girls so they play. And they kept seeing me and I kept asking the same questions at every meeting. And then after a certain point, they were like, we need to put you on a committee. And that's how it started.
Wow. Just seeing a problem. And that's one of
Seeing
the things
problems.
you said. It says, I like solving problems. So
Yeah.
solving problems is one of the main things that you do
Mhm.
in situations. Is I always say, no matter whatever it is that's in us, no matter where you put us, we're gonna end up doing the same thing.
Same
So
thing.
it's funny, I find leaders leading or people who have a gift teaching, no matter what it is, or someone who is um, an administrator and they
Mhm.
love really almost like OCD, like really getting things organized, no matter what's going on. They're gonna be the one that's gonna grab the check if everybody's at the restaurant or whatever, they're the ones that's doing. I mean, so it's like a natural thing for you to do. So I love that. I love that. So, what is one uh, habit you think every successful entrepreneur should develop?
One habit I would say is every single day have a mantra as you're brushing your teeth, washing your face, whatever that is, while
Yeah,
you're looking in that mirror. Tell yourself that, girl, you got this, or today's going to be a great day, or whatever that
mhm.
is for you.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
way you start your day is the way you're going to end or finish.
That is so true. That is so true. My mentor always says that she says it said as soon as she opens her eyes, today is going to be a great day. Thank you,
It sets
Lord,
the
for this
tone.
day. It sets the tone for the day. And I read something not too long ago too, Dr. Linda, that said, do not the first hour look at your phone. And I
Yes.
was like, "Oh my god," and they said it just really would lower your cortisol and
Hmm.
that sort of thing, like, do other things, but do not look at the phone. I was like, "Ooh, that's a hard one," because it's like, as soon as I'm up and about, I'm on the checking the email, it's like but they said that is really it's really detrimental to a lot of our mental health and also, cortisol and things like that. So anyway, so,
Yeah.
what's the one thing that women need to stop doing immediately?
Women need to stop blaming themselves for why they're not where they want to be.
Hmm.
Because we blame ourselves because we think we should have done this 6 months ago, or because Sally over here has gone to X, Y, and Z or finished this degree, or we're in competition with ourselves. And we need to stop doing that because
Yeah.
we're causing ourselves more heartburn by just doing the things that are on our list.
Yeah, comparison is a thief of joy. It really
Yeah,
is.
it
It
is.
really is. And you never know. You sometimes there's a saying that it says you see their glory, but you don't know their story.
Story, right.
And so you will never know. I mean, sometimes people will say, "Oh, I just really would love to have what Oprah has." Okay, but remember, Oprah was molested in her childhood.
Mhm.
She was born in a family that was a little chaotic. I mean, there was a lot of things that she went through. So, like, do you want all or bad too? It's like, or you just want you're not gonna just all get the good because what
Right.
made her the product that she is same thing with TD Jakes. I mean,
Yeah.
he said sometimes he would preach and all they would give him is like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That's
It's
it.
like, okay, for many years. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's you see him now, but you don't know the other part.
Right.
So
Yeah, you
like
don't know what they had to go through to get there.
yes, yes. So the last question right now, if a woman is listening right now and she knows she's capable of more, she has these dreams in her heart, she has something that's really tugging at her or pulling at her, but she's afraid to leave a corporate, or she's been unemployed for a long time, a year, maybe
Mhm.
2 years. Um, and, you know, they're really praying, but what's the next step that they can really do to, what would you tell them today?
I would tell them the same thing that I told myself is don't second guess. You got to
Yeah.
step out on faith or whatever belief you have. But once you believe in yourself that you can do this,
Yes.
there's no stopping you.
Mhm,
No
mhm.
stopping you because you are just as good as the next person.
Yeah, and
You
you
have
ran
to
for
be
mayor
right.
and won.
I ran for mayor and won and didn't have a clue about what the mayoral responsibilities were. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to really run a campaign. I had run a campaign for a council person, but when you're at that mayor level, it's totally different. So I didn't have a clue, but we have so many people around us. And so I had people around me. So I would ask for help. And we as women often don't want to ask for help. We as women of color don't want to ask for help because we think we can do all things by ourselves. And
The
we
strong black woman
woman,
fallacy, like, "Oh, you gotta be strong, you gotta be strong." It's like, you're
right.
strong, you'll be wore out.
You'd
Ask
be
for
wore
help.
out. Exactly.
The
Wore out and
smart
broke.
people ask for help. They do.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I have coaches, and you're a coach and coaching is just a part of our, uh, lifestyle now.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 years ago, not so much,
Yeah.
or even maybe at least 30 years ago. But for sure, like if you are in business, you need a coach. And sometimes you
Yes.
need several coaches, just like
Mhm.
people understand that they need a health coach, a personal trainer,
Yes.
because they know you know how to work out, but then you need someone to show you. So you
Right.
may know a certain part of business, but you don't know the part that you would hire a coach for. So
Mhm.
that's really, really important to make sure that you ask for help, hire the right coach, making sure that people understand what it is that you do, and to ask people, you know, hey, do you know anyone that needs my services? This is what I do. And it's not like you are begging people because you are in business to solve a problem. And so someone's praying for a solution, but you're too afraid to even open your mouth. It's like, how can you be the answer to someone's prayer if you don't open your mouth and say, well, I can help you with that. I do that. I solve that for you.
Yes. Yes. As they say in church, a closed mouth does not get fed.
That's right, that's right. So I want people to go to lindajordan.com. What will they see when they go there?
Well, they will see lots of great stuff. You'll see the opportunity to connect with me. You'll see books that I've written, but most important, you'll see the opportunity to schedule a time to have a free 30-minute conversation. And if you're interested, we can also do what's called a breakthrough session because a
Ooh,
lot of women do need to break through whatever that is to help
yeah,
them get to that next level because we've got a lot of baggage that we need to get rid of.
yeah. And we need to make that pivot. And sometimes to make that pivot, you just need to talk it out, hear it from someone who's been trained as a coach,
Yes.
someone who has been trained, and someone who's had lived experience as well. So
Yes.
lindajordan.com, I want people to go there as well. You've been in Speakers Magazine. Are you speaking somewhere coming up? What's coming up?
Yeah. So next weekend, will be in Chicago at Royalty Speaks with Dr. Ola.
All right, all right. Good, good, good. Is that around the same time of President Obama's
Yes, it is.
my favorite president? Okay, so I'm just gonna say, but yeah,
Yeah.
that is good. So Dr. Ola is also part of Ready Set Go Speak as well.
Yes.
So one of the things for all speakers, I want you to say this, is that it's not just one and done. You always have to improve yourself. You always have to improve your marketing materials, your messaging, get more practice on stages, upgrade your photos. It's you can't come out and be Tony Robbins or Les Brown immediately. It's a process, right? To go over that, Willie Jolly, those kind of things, a Hall of Famer speaker. So over time, please, Speak Sell Shine down at the bottom. That's scrolling there. Speak Sell Shine. Apply to go there as well. That's one of the things that happens in October. We do it at the Press Club and we do it at the Howard Theater. But speakers who are really serious, not hobbyists, people really serious, are investing in themselves. And so people, when they say, "Oh, they get to speak a lot, they speak a lot," well, they invest a lot in their craft, in their craft. So that's what you're doing. So I really, really appreciate that and love that. And they could go to Amazon and get your books as well.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, very, very good. Because I want people to know where to do that and how to get a hold of you. LindaJordan.com, and your company works with women, coaching and breakthrough and scheduling, but you also work as a corporate trainer as well. So I want people to
That
know
is
that
correct.
they could do that. So that's why they need to go to the website and find out about all the things
All the stuff.
that you do.
Yes, all the things.
All the things. All right, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Linda. This has been a joy. And I want people to know it's never too late to make a pivot, to make a change, to reinvent. It doesn't matter if they have been uh, looking for a job, if they want to go back into corporate and they've been looking for a while, know that it is coming. But in the interim, maybe there's so many other people that are entrepreneurs. Look at maybe, I'm going to say interning with someone, but working under someone who is starting a business, and you can be like under that founder to use your skills and services. And you never know how that will be a blessing for you, because eventually when you want to become maybe a founder one day, an entrepreneur, you then know what it really takes. So I just want to say, don't give up. Don't give up. Know that you can, at any point in time, you can reinvent. Right?
Yes.
Reinvent. And one of the things what you're doing this next weekend with Dr. Ola, you're doing that as well, because that's a whole new brand that's going to be coming up.
Yes.
I'm
excited. I'm excited.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Speakers Magazine Show. God bless you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Pam.
All righty. Bye-bye.